off and running in Winston-Salem. Critical game in ACC play with Wake Forest in black, winless in 2 conference contests so far. And Clemson unbeaten in its conference game so far. 2 wins and a draw, of course, in orange, attacking right to left in this first half. There is John getting a touch early, number 10 in orange, stands just 5'3", wide for Mishizawa. Yoshizawa back on the ball. Here is John with a step in the penalty area, playing it square. Unable to connect with Nathan Richmond arriving, but a sign right off the bat of the danger Clemson poses. Good win at the back by Floki Stevenson, the transfer from Virginia Tech at the back. And a touch for Heinlein. Wake Forest, Devin, got off to a really slow start against Virginia. They were pressed in. They barely had the ball in the first 20 minutes of the game, and Clemson trying to do likewise tonight. A lot more of it within that game, though, Jonathan, was more energy, right? The emotion in the match overwhelmed them early on, couldn't establish any rhythm, and making uncharacteristic mistakes when they were actually on the ball. Something that Bobby Muse said that they addressed all week long, and felt like the intensity in practice much better. There is some pressure, and Wake Forest able to come away with it. Let's see if they can hold it. Amani Thomas, the sophomore right back on the ball. Danny Kruger inserted back into the lineup where he spent most of last year after the Virginia game. There's a big diagonal switch for one of the transfers, Harvey Sarajan, into the penalty area. Twisting and turning. Out to dive on it is Joseph Andima, the Clemson goalkeeper. End-to-end action in the early going, just what we would expect from 2 teams that are very familiar. 3 games head-to-head last year, as tight as can be. Penalty kicks decided the ACC championship, and Wake won here in overtime in the NCAA. Both managers will tell you, regardless of the returning classes, though, that was last year, right? This is a new team, new identity for both of these guys, and trying to figure out exactly who are going to be the key position players. Clemson still looking for that defensively. Wake Forest, more balance overall. The entire front line chanting along Tate Lorenz and Harvey Sarajan didn't have anything to do with what was 270 minutes an ACC title game in a postseason match. So getting the real first taste of that grimy, gritty ACC matchup. Mike Noonan admitted last year's games might come up early in the day in the pregame preparation. Virginia was beaten by Wake Forest in the ACC tournament last year 5-1, and Mike Noonan said, I think that's where some of that early emotion in the Virginia game came from, and they used it to their advantage. One of the funny things from both of them referencing the meetings last year, and specifically the Wake Forest Clemson ACC tournament game, neither one said that they won or lost because of the draw. I looked at Bobby Muse and said, you guys won an ACC title. I said, no, we drew that game. And Mike Noonan said, yeah, we didn't lose that match. They beat us in penalties. So certainly the bad blood that always exists between these two, no love lost. There you see Mike Noonan, the 2 national championships under their belt in 2021, 2023, part of 4 won by the program. And they're not ranked, Devin, which just seems strange, especially when they're 2-0-1 in the ACC. Midweek games have not been their forte this year. But conference results already over Pitt, over Cal. In good shape coming into this road contest. I'm not really sure I would want to be a fly in the dressing room for the VCU or Queens games that they unfortunately handed to them at the tail end of it. Part of the growing pains, though, you go through, Jonathan, early on in the season, trying to figure out what the next step is for this group. I mentioned how the entire front line of Wake Forest didn't experience the Clemson Tigers last year in that tournament game. We'll look at the midfield for Clemson. Cooper Heinlein, Kweku Ajibang, drop a little bit deeper. Floki was at Virginia Tech last year. Figuring out in moments of adversity how teams are going to respond. That's where both coaches are at right now. John applying pressure and forcing Kruger's pass off the mark over to Travis Smith. And now the left back Escribano can't catch up to that one. A few tweaks at the back, and the outside back spots have been one of the question marks for Wake. Escribano on the left and Amani Thomas on the right tonight to start. Ajibang recovers to win that for Clemson, number 8. Couldn't connect his second pass, though. Chandler Young trying to turn for Wake Forest. And the foul is whistled. It'll be a free kick for the Deeks. As you see, Bobby Muse came over from Denver, came back from Denver. He was a former assistant coach here and had instant success, 4 straight ACC Coach of the Year awards. And everyone else has caught up a little bit over the last few years, definitely.
In terms of ball control, playing the game, as people would call it, the right way, ball on the deck. Over rotation, under rotation, sometimes death by 1,000 passes, and I say that with the utmost respect, one of the best in the country. He recruits total footballers, guys that you don't necessarily want to play direct, but you don't want to play deep. He makes you play combinations in uncomfortable areas all over the field. It is one of the spots that is really injected into the DNA of these young men and in this program, but it's also an area right now that they're fighting a little bit. When you look at that Virginia game, times where they could have hit the release button and moved out, and instead they were stubborn and they tried to play through it. That's some inexperience in certain areas, the leadership part that I talk about, but also getting used to ACC play and the intensity of what it brings with it.
Ransford Gian is onside here, wants to get back to his left foot. And the step over well read by Jose Perez in the middle for Wake Forest in the recovery. But, I mean, Devin, we've already seen it. The passing out of the back for Wake already, we're 8 minutes in, has been sloppy.
I'm less concerned about the sloppiness of it as opposed to the decision-making. I don't mind an errant ball. I mind an errant ball right up through the middle.
Yeah, well,
right?
we've seen at least 2.
So if you're going to take a chance on something, make sure it's calculated. If you're Danny Kruger, see the 5-yard ball in front of you, but there's a possibility of a 1-on-1 or 2v1 pressure. Ping this ball on a diagonal, which they love to do. Put it down in the corner, reset your defensive line, and also establish some early confidence for guys like Tate Lorenz and Harvey Sarajian on that front 3.
Both Lorenz and Sarajian starting because Jeffrey White is out injured following an early collision. I'm talking 10 seconds into the game on Monday against Liberty. They do hope to get him back later in conference play, but he's had some success against Clemson before. He's unavailable for Wake Forest. And we told you in the open, no Wahabu Musa, the outstanding number 9 for Clemson, out due to a red card taken late against Cal. Here's Jeffrey White. Drew a penalty in this matchup earlier in his career, but won't be available in this one.
It's not a breathe right strip.
He touches fine Basit Umar, number 22 for Wake Forest. He only had 2 touches in the first 20 minutes against Virginia. He's already got 4 today. So that's a good sign for Wake Forest because a lot of the attacking moves will run through him. Big Ghanaian representation in this game between Umar for Wake and the 5 Ghanaians rostered for Clemson. Nathan Richmond on the attack for Clemson. His dad was part of a national championship team in 1987, and Nathan was in 2023. Mike Noonan said that was one of the easier recruiting pitches we had to make, was getting Nathan Richmond to come. And he's got 5 goals already this year on the ball. Looking for Yoshizawa, beg your pardon, couldn't connect with him. Mason Jimenez And the right back, Okunlola. How far Clemson is into the Wake half at the moment. Cooper Flax pokes that away for the Deacons, though.
It's a big boy tackle from Nesto Perez to stand up. Incoming players from Clemson. I love the defensive movement a second prior between Perez and Cooper Flax. Little tit for tat with Cooper Heinlein coming back up in. Those two are going to interchange, and as they do, space will open up. The back line, Travis Smith Jr. and Danny Kruger, are going to have to communicate to the two holding midfielders in front of them and make sure it's constant. One of the biggest assets that Cooper Heinlein has is his ability to attack in forward-thinking fashion, loves to drive right at you, but so does Ransford Jean. So as he rotates back out, opens up space.
And foul whistle in the corner. It'll be a goal kick for Clemson. Devin, only 8 games in the ACC schedule. Wake Forest, a loss and a tie so far. How much pressure is on the result tonight versus pressure on the performance?
Performance. You're at the point in the season where sort of the cream rising to the crop, number one. But especially this year, as I look around the entire landscape, there's no real dominant team, and everybody has a fault. So you take Wake Forest, who is ball dominant, but lacks a little defensive stability. Same conversation for Clemson, except they can attack with the best in the country. Organization by Stanford. Everybody has their quirks, but also the ability to break down opponents. So you're looking to regulate what is a full 90-minute performance as opposed to just getting points, whether home or away.
Minute, no score. Wake Forest in black, gaining some momentum with that previous attack. On the move now. This is Cooper Flax out wide. Finds Umar. Back for Flax. The shot was deflected out for the game's first corner. And a review coming as well. Referee Dimitar Shavdarov going to take a look, see if anything warranted a penalty kick.
Love the back to goal movement here from freshman Chandler Young. As he drops down in underneath. Good release by Cooper Flax. And you talked about Umar in that 8-10 pivot role. Cooper Flax has to be willing to step up and continue to move up high. 3 goals, yes. Last game, 2 from the penalty mark. You establish confidence with him, the whole front line starts to follow. And if you look at the way that this starts to play itself out, this is an area that head coach Mike Noonan of the Clemson Tigers is really keeping an eye on. As aggressive as they are up high on the pitch defensively, when they get broken down and the space starts to open up, how do you recover together? What sort of organization do you possess? And when it pops from the outside, are you able to step up into those pockets? That's where this opportunity opens back up, and they're looking on the hand on the left side right there, then comes through on the right. First question is it inside the box? I would say yes. The second one, it's a pretty decent argument that the hand's away from the body, extended in an unnatural position, and you've got a real solid argument here that the referee could point to the spot.
Will be reversed. It's a handball penalty in the area.
Well, you may have heard that with us before the official word. Penalty kick to Wake Forest here in the 13th minute.
After review, a penalty kick has been awarded.
Cooper Flax took 2 penalty kicks on Monday against Liberty. He went to the same spot both times. It was to his right, to the goalkeeper's left. Not just on the ground, about mid-height. And we'll see if he holds form and just how Ondima chooses to approach it.
Number 18, Cooper Flax.
He was 4 for 5 on penalties last year. Cooper Flax, count it! He switched sides and he has Wake Forest in front.
Starts with quality buildup, good utilization of the width, and as you spread it, pocket centrally. Chandler Young drops in, forces the back line to react, and that's where Cooper Flax is able to rotate back over. The right arm from Floki, definitely away from the body. Right call from the referee to the spot. Cooper Flax, the other direction than the two he put away against Liberty. Confidence was everything. Leadership a necessity, and none more so than the performance by Cooper Flax and Wake Forest to get them rolling.
Senior out of the New York City FC Academy, third-team All-America selection last year. Big collision there off the ball between Chandler Young and Floki Stevenson. That was interesting. And bodies flying at the moment. Free kick coming for Clemson. Stevenson and Chandler Young were tangled up straight from the kickoff, and he's still arguing his case.
Be aware now. Good energy on the opening seconds, given up off of the penalty goal from Clemson Tigers, and the left footer of Ransford Jam. He's clever enough that he'll hit it from this distance. The question is going to be, does he like the matchups on the back post right now? You've got a mismatch between Amani Thomas and Mason Jimenez. Floki's starting to rotate over there as well. And a lot of traffic in front of Travis Smith Jr. if he wanted to go the vertical route.
Toward the penalty spot, it's dangerous. And that's driven just wide at the back post. It was Kweku Ajibong coming all the way over to have a shot at the second ball.
Doesn't hit the back of the net, but very important that Clemson reestablished some positive thoughts within these young men going down early on the road. Last time either one of these schools won in back-to-back matches, 2019.
Tigers on the move here. Richmond drives it, deflected, and we're level just like that. 1 minute later, Nathan Richmond and Clemson respond.
The great thing about this front line for the Clemson Tigers, so interchangeable, even in the absence of Musa. Nate Richmond, Yoshizawa able to release. So as you work on the far side, already have the 3v2 advantage. Smart run by Nate Richmond. Not only does he cut in, he starts to pull away to take advantage of the space in front of him. Good vision by Mason Jimenez, and the weight that he puts on the ball to allow Nate Richmond to set himself up. Tees it up right in front of him. Inverted on the left and into the bottom corner. What a response from the Clemson Tigers.
Just a minute 37 seconds between Flax's penalty kick and Richmond's deflected response. You saw his 6th goal of the year, back-to-back games with a goal now for him as well. He scored against Cal last week.
Keep an eye on the energy now, Jonathan. See exactly the emotions of what both teams are going through right now. Wake's going to feel like they hit the highest of highs. Lottery off the penalty, but then immediately dropping back down. How much pressing are you going to get from the Clemson Tigers, or are they willing to just let this game stay in front of them right now and see how Wake are going to utilize the ball to their advantage? I like the idea of putting them under pressure. If I'm Clemson, I'm going after them, really making Wake feel flustered after that crazy couple of minutes that was.
Lamar trying to play Tate Lorenz to the corner, didn't get the angle of the pass right, and it runs out for a goal kick. Well, 15 minutes in, and the teams maybe catch their breath for a brief moment. Again, Flax's penalty kick putting Wake in front, and Clemson responding in a minute and a half, essentially. Cooper Heinlein, the freshman inserted, had only played 25 minutes all season, credited with an assist on the goal, just won that header. And now Stevenson, who we know as Gander is up from the earlier challenge, into that challenge, out for a Wake throw. Umar able to turn. Driven switch too high for Sirajin, but he did well to keep it in. Escribano, the left back. Ian Flax wear the armbands as well as Umar. How about Heinlein? Freshman thrown into one of the biggest pressure cookers in the college soccer regular season. And he's done all right so far. Started this play at one end, John going the other. Looking for Yoshizawa, and the second ball is loose. Mise Yoshizawa. This is Heinlein to Ajibang. And it's broken up by Umar. Only Chandler Young in front of him. And that'll be a Wake Forest throw on the far side.
One of the great things that you get if you're Cooper Heinlein is a solid look defensively behind you, but you're pressing up high so you can be free. You want to play clean and with confidence, but you can be free because you're so high up on the field. Right? You're the chance creator under one of the most electrifying players in college soccer in Ransford Jean, trying to find him in transition, but also stepping up onto that front line, putting the center backs under pressure. If he's deeper in the pocket, much more difficult for him.
Perez so strong in tight space to keep that moving. And a stoppage here. Taking Lola down for a second as you see just a minute in game time separating the goals. Flax's penalty kick awarded after video review. And Clemson equalizing within 97 seconds. That's headed on and out quickly. Andima in the Clemson goal. Congested middle of the field with black and gold shirts, and Perez, number 12, able to come away with it. Long ball looking for Umar. Well read by Magnuson at the back for Clemson. 19th minute. Wake Devon certainly in better shape than they were a week ago. it's a low bar.
The understatement of the century.
It's
right
a low
there.
bar, but just got torched in the first half by Virginia. Amani Thomas all over the place. And Ajibang, freshman from Ghana by way of St. Benedict's Prep in New Jersey, broke that up. Now our ESPN Sunday women's volleyball doubleheader starts with Kansas hosting Arizona at 1 Eastern. And then here in the ACC, a top 15 matchup, SMU and Pitt squaring off at 3. Both matches available in the all-new ESPN app. Great defending by Danny Kruger to stand up Gian. And Flax couldn't find any options before he was dispossessed. Richmond on the ball, the goal scorer. Now John, acres of space. Elects to wait for help. This is Okunlola, the right back. Atlanta United Academy product. Sirajin stayed with him and sent that out for a corner.
Back-to-back sequences, quality defending in the form of recovery for Danny Kruger, and then on the far side of the field, in a one-on-one situation. One of the biggest issues they've dealt with defensively is when they've got into those isolated situations, just being a little bit sloppy. Much better in the opening 20 minutes here from Wake Forest.
First corner for Clemson, and it's John to deliver from the corner. Magnuson puts Clemson in front. Rose highest at the back post and pinpointed the header inside the top corner. 2-1 Clemson.
Similar pick that they set on the last one out ended up on the side of the net. This time, Lucas Magnuson instead of Floki, just drifting to what will be the left side of your screen. Travis Smith Jr. struggling with all the players in front of him. As a defender, you've got to be locked arm in arm to be able to step up in there and get pressure on Lucas Magnuson. Instead, really smartly done. As he steps back in, sets his foundation, allowing him to explode through that ball onto the near post. Really well worked by the Clemson Tigers.
Changes right off of that goal for Wake Forest with Vlad Walent entering. And Ethan Subashan as well. Big switch for Lawrence, who has switched to the left side. Twisting and turning. Lost control over the end line here. All right, Devin, Clemson continues to find goals in many different ways. And Wake continues to leak them. 9 goals given up between UNC Wilmington and Virginia. They then did get the shutout against Liberty. 2 in the first 21 minutes tonight. What's up?
The bigger concern for Bobby Muse is going to be how the goals are being scored, not the fact that they are hitting the back of the net. Right. Certainly no coach wants to concede. But that's one where you're in the film room, Jonathan, and you go, that's on us, right? All due respect to Clemson, it's a good move by the center back to rotate back over, but you've got proper defensive coverage. And trying to establish more confidence for Travis Smith Jr. He knows that he's going to be in the wrong. Just got to be tighter on the mark overall and just be physical.
Look at that burst of speed from John. That was jaw-dropping, straight line run of about 20 yards as that handball will just be played out for a throw-in. I mean, he's really something. This is over the last 2 seasons in the ACC. Donovan Phillip from NC State in action tonight against Pitt. And Ransford John just ahead of him after assisting on Magnuson's goal.
All due respect to Donovan Phillip, who is absolutely lighting it up for Mark Hubbard and NC State. To me, it comes down to quality of opponent. Out of those 23 goal contributions, 14 by way of goals and assists have come versus ACC opponents. It's so difficult to be able to find a single goal, a single assist against the quality that you're playing. Yet every single week, Ransford John pulls a rabbit out of the hat, showing you how good he is in such a wide variety of ways. He runs at you, he cuts it back. Tight little pockets on the inside, open space, passing. Young man's got it all.
Tremendous dummy there, and Amani Thomas read it well. He and Kruger sandwiched John. John's only 19. He's a 2006 birthday. Whereas you see some guys come in, you've got some freshmen who are 21 already. Basit Umar, now a senior, is 24. John, small stature and everything, is only 19, and you say he's probably already the best player in college soccer.
Just because of his level of efficiency, you're given 10 opportunities in a game, he's going to hit the target, at least 5 of them, probably going to score 3. I mean, that's the quality that you're dealing with. Also, the unpredictability of his game. You can look at him and talk about the traits, but it's still difficult to find trends within his match, right? So he'll drop down in and play deep, try and work off of players like Cooper Heinlein and Mason Jimenez. But in this same match tonight, you spin your head around, and he's 1v2 against Travis Smith Jr. and Danny Kruger coming out on top. So there's no real pattern to where he's trying to attack you. As a defender, it's one of the scariest things, not understanding what a player is trying to lean on.
We asked Mike Noonan about him, and almost nothing he said was about soccer. He said A+ talent, A+ character, and he called him a saint. I mean, nothing but the highest praise for Ransford John. And again, how many teams can you take leading number 9, who was ACC All-Freshman last year, out of the game. They don't miss a beat right now. Wake Forest trying to respond. Second ball. Subashan, the Louisville transfer to Tate Lorenz, hits the top corner. Oh, that's fantastic! And that's just what Wake Forest needed. This game never disappoints.
We just talked about predictability of a player. It's something that Wake Forest struggled with against the Cavaliers. At their best, they stretch the game. If on the long diagonal doesn't work for them, they establish dominance and personnel up high. Look at that. 7 players, 30 yards and in for them to play off of in combination play. Ethan Subachan unselfish here as he works back across. All the space available to him atop the 18. He could have easily taken this touch and tried to go it alone, but instead, that lateral touch draws 3 defenders, giving a glimmer of hope to Tate Lorenz, who has been on absolute fire the last couple of matches. Bobby Muse said coming out of the Liberty game, he's got to be our guy going forward, and he gets them back to square one.
Tate Lorenz, from a Winston-Salem soccer family, he grew up coming to Spry. He grew up watching these games. I got a list of the last 10 games these teams have played. I guarantee you he was at least 6. And to play in one and to score upper 90 tying goal, even in the first half, what a moment for him. And how badly did this Wake Forest team need that depth?
I recognize where the assist came from, too. Ethan Subachan, who
they need more out of.
Transferred over from Louisville, John Michael Hayden's program. After 2 seasons, 9 goal contributions in 34 games overall. Felt like his activity level needed to be better. They got it.
Thomas slipped there, but it doesn't end up hurting Wake. Umar pressured by Heinlein, the freshman from Colorado. Plays in Richmond. Nathan Richmond just missed wide that time. The way he's been playing, you thought that one was headed into the corner.
That left side struggling right now. Escribano, Travis Smith Jr., they're having trouble on the cutbacks. And as you start to move down underneath defensively, Nesto Perez just doesn't have the same sort of ability because of all the players to step over and provide weak side support. Got to stay on your feet. Noonan knows it. Richmond knows it. Could have easily been the 3rd.
That turns over. Heinlein will try it. It's deflected off the back of Travis Smith and out for a corner. Remember what happened on the previous corner, on the set piece before that. Clemson has been dangerous on these tonight.
Corner kick upcoming for Clemson. Corner Tigers, number 10, transferred Gio.
Floki the target this time, and he collides with Mednard, who's not happy with the challenge. It'll be a free kick for Wake Forest coming out. And we hope you'll join us for more ACC men's soccer action a week from Sunday. So the following weekend, October 5th, Virginia against NC State, currently number 1 in the country. Who knows if they'll be number 1 by then, but currently unscored upon going into their game against Pitt tonight. And Virginia, of course, playing very well at the moment as well. That's available on the ACC network and, of course, in the all-new ESPN app. Sunday, October 5th at 6 o'clock.
That's a whole nother animal, though, in ACC play. The Virginia Cavaliers, another freshman making an impact. Nick Simmons up top. One of the best duos in all of college soccer in the midfield. Alban Gashi and Umberto Pelat. 7 national titles, 3rd best all-time in Division I. That's not too bad on your resume, is it?
But I mean, Devin, NC State, Chris Hubbard has them firing on all cylinders in season number 2. I know you're going to say they haven't played anybody tough yet.
Listen, sure.
But they haven't given up a goal.
I was just going to say, the quality of competition is something we're still going to look at, but for Mark Hubbard's squad, they're still getting their job done, right? You handle your business against the teams that you have to, and so far, they've done that. They produce goals that are absolute glory talkers. A lot of depth within the midfield, back line. Niko Markovic really takes care of the defensive line, and Logan Urban goal has been steady. Pitt tonight will be a really good test for them.
Clemson and Pitt played a wild 1-3-2 in that game. I don't think we'll have either coach all that comfortable. Are you surprised we're 2-2 in the first half of this one? Last year's games were a lot cagier, certainly in terms of the scoreboard.
Not surprised by the scoreline, surprised by the mistakes again that they keep happening. The hand away from the body on the penalty, right? That's number one. The lack of defensive coverage on the second goal given up by Clemson. You come to the other side of the field for Wake Forest, 2 on the far side where, you know, Nate Richmond had all of this space. Unfortunately, a lack of focus for Escribano and Travis Smith, and then same conversation from the set piece. Go back to what we talked about after the corner that ended up in the opening goal, right, for Clemson, or the second goal for the Clemson Tigers. You say, listen, these are things you can fix if you're Wake Forest. The problem is you're getting 7, 8, 9 games in. You don't want it to be part of your identity and be mistake-driven. You want to be able to fix this and solidify moving forward.
Into the stride of Yoshizawa. Gets it to John. Neat move. Of course! Who else but Ransford John continues this wild first half. Clemson's on top 3-2. And Wake Forest is continuing to leak goals at the other end.
Flexibility of that front line. We talked about Nate Richmond and how he inverted on their first. Ransford Jean, as he drops in under Yoshizawa, the constant conversation with head coach Mike Noonan was he had to be a presence up high and stay central. Beautiful movement. Notice how he occupies both center backs, keep them still, and gets the hips squared up for Travis Smith. As the ball comes square back across, good vision by Yoshizawa, unselfish, drawing the defender in at the last minute, creating the 1v1, the touch back across the body, and the ingenuity of the most electrifying player in college soccer in Ransford Jean.
How about it? 5 goals, 6 assists last year. It seemed like he was just scratching the surface. 8 goals, 5 assists this year. And you see over the last 2 seasons, he continues to produce like no other in the ACC and really no other in the country when you factor in the degree of difficulty.
That's his 8th of the season. Here comes unassisted. In the 30th minute, Ted Gian.
Alfred Deba and Nico Rabiu in off the bench for Wake Forest. Clemson yet to make a sub. That's not surprising based on their patterns so far this year. Wake Forest will go deeper.
I was just about to say, don't be surprised by the changes from Bobby Muse that they're taking place, not necessarily because of the score line. It's one of the deeper teams we've seen at Wake Forest in quite some time. Nearly a decade since he could go 20 players deep in his arsenal to be able to try and up the level, change the tactics. Right now, they just need to be cleaner on the ball. The turnovers are allowing the open space to easily be stepped into by the Clemson Tigers.
If you're just joining us, you've missed quite a lot. 5 goals to tell you about. Wake Forest scored first. Clemson has led 2-1 and now leads 3-2. Which again, Wake has now allowed 12 goals in its last 4 games. And it's not even 4 full games, it's 3.5.
But even that little ball right there, into Nesto Perez. You've got coverage by Yoshizawa, Ransford John over the shoulder. That's not a simple little 5-yard ball. You're putting your guy in a bad spot. Instead, take the pattern over your left shoulder, open up the Tigers in front of you, and then go to work.
Oh, Okunlola, long run, and then he and Mednard collided, and Okunlola is still down. And the referee has allowed play to continue. Wake Forest is playing on as well, as is their right. Although usually at this point, when you weren't in a scoring position, you might have played it out. And a foul by Subachan at one end will maybe let Okunlola get some attention at the other.
Less concerned about the contact as opposed to how Okunlola lands after the fact. Ankle short. Just felt like it rolled up underneath him. There. No contact with the goalkeeper, absolutely like buckles a bit, but the way that he lands, just making sure it wasn't his knee. Doesn't look to be. Whew. I'm no math wizard.
That bodes well.
That seems to be pretty good.
I mean, Clemson hadn't been shut out in 42 games until Queens shut him out a week and a half ago. The previous team to do it was Wake Forest. Wake has been the team that's held them in check over the years. 3 goals, the most Clemson has scored in this series since 2014.
Change here in the midfield for Bobby Muse. We alluded to the rotation that will be. For Deba comes in. A little bit more of a box-to-box than Umar is.
Oh my God, you could see John kind of sizing everything up, figuring out what he was going to do with this. And it's scary as a defense as that one is headed over the top.
It's like a video game.
It's ridiculous.
Transfer John, again, just the understanding of space and time. Exactly when he needs to hit that pivotal moment and explode into the pocket. He's done really well for himself in the 9. You know, the one concern that I would have had, say would have, because 33 minutes into this match, they've done very well for themselves. Because he's a player who's so creative, he likes to wander. When you play him up top in the 9, you don't always have that luxury. You need the presence to both make sure that you're occupying the center backs, but also getting them under pressure defensively. If he drops out, Wake picks up the ball, it's a lot easier for them to start to switch to the opposite side of the field. And they love to allow their center backs to be possession-oriented. If he stays central, he's the threat defensively. If he stays central and they're moving on the ball, he allows players around him to be more dynamic. You don't want him to drift into the space. He comes out, he gets in Yoshizawa's way, Richmond's way. Now there's a time and place for it. But he's so smart at recognizing that exact pivotal moment of when to release.
I mean, you were a defender. Would you rather, how is it different defending him whether he's at forward or at the number 10? We'll get back to that, as of course Yoshizawa and Clemson on the move again. Now it's out for a throw.
The problem you've run into with him as a 9 tonight is he's been able to face forward on the game. You want to push him back. The problem is they're struggling for consistency with Travis Smith Jr. and Danny Kruger. Okay, so pass him up into the midfield. Well, if you pass him into the midfield, Cooper Heinlein has done a really good job releasing on both sides of the ball. So now you've still got that constant threat. It's communication. Also, physically, I'd like to see the back line be a bit more demanding of some of these interactions with Ransford Gian. Get some more shoulder-to-shoulder. Use the size to your advantage. It's one of the few areas on the field they're going to win that battle.
He picks a pocket here. John, dipsy doodle. Finally some help as Perez comes in to make it a throw. Took a deflection, so this will stay with Wake Forest. I'm going to read between the lines here. You're saying put a body on.
At times.
Not more demanding was the very genteel way to put it.
But think about that moment right there. That didn't need to be a body moment. That didn't need to be cleanliness of a tackle coming through it. You don't need to keep possession there. You need to eliminate the threat that is right in front of you.
Well, no one's been able to eliminate Ransford Gian, so it's hard to put all the blame on Wake, but he certainly has been a threat tonight. Goal and an assist. Nathan Richmond and Lucas Magnuson, the other goal scorers for Clemson. For Wake, a Cooper Flax penalty kick and a Tate Lorenz rip to the top corner have been canceled out. Amani Thomas got that one wrong as we look at someone who knows how to make the final third his playground.
Already 7 goals and 4 assists on the season. Set piece specialist for sure, off that wand of a left foot. Just put it on the back post. Let the big boys go get it. Okay, well, now let's let everybody play. All right, 22 players, maybe in this situation, compacted to about 15 in a 40-yard gap. No matter. One-on-one, cut back across. draws you in, spits you out, and this young man just continues to amaze me. You watch him on tape, it's scary. You see the stats, it's concerning. You watch him live, it's embarrassing for some. I mean, that's how good he is.
Moved to North Jersey when he was 13. First St. Benedict's player to win back-to-back National Player of the Year award since Claudio Reyna. So pretty good company to keep there. And then served as a recruiter as well, because Kweku Ajibong in the middle, also from Ghana, also attended St. Benedict's, their best buddies. So he came down for a game at Clemson last year and liked what he saw.
No foul! No foul! No foul! That's it, guys!
Clemson's first change comes here in the 37th minute.
Good work, good work.
Xander Sevian replacing Yoshizawa. Sevian, another freshman from Colorado. He's from Boulder.
We'll have some familiarity with Cooper Heinlein down underneath them. Both freshmen, both from that Real Colorado squad. Seen both of them since they were 13 years of age. It was fun to watch the development of these young players and how they grow into the college ranks.
Escribano, dangerous delivery, too high for Subashan. And now John got a step there, and really important tackle doing the defensive work from Vlad Wallet.
Got to be careful here, Wake Forest. The depth of their wingers. Ravi on the far side, Wallet playing a little bit deep right now. Possessionally allowing Clemson to hold down some passages a little bit higher off of the pitch, releases the midfield, puts that back line under a lot more pressure than necessary. If you just cheat up 5 yards, Jonathan, you can eliminate those movements. And it doesn't have to be often, but over the last 10 minutes, far too deep in possession.
Please!
39th minute, what a feast of goals we've had for you so far. The left back is Christian Escribano, now in his 6th year for Wake, battling back from injury, and wins a free kick for the Demon Deacons here. Escribano out of FC Dallas. A lot of uncertainty as we prepare to restart this, and the clock continues to wind. Now Wake has finally decided, okay, we are sending the big targets up.
That 1 yard is everything from that distance. You have no idea.
Got to ask for your 10, man.
Put it down, have the referee walk it back out, turns his back, moves it up. Tale as old as time.
Ready for the restart. Wallet at the back post. Headed home. Here we go. This thing is off the chain nuts. Danny Kruger ties it up.
Struggling for tempo with the ball at their feet. One of the things that Wake Forest have always been very good at are set pieces. Little bit surprised they didn't blow a foul on this ball to the back post with the confrontation as it's redirected back across. You hit a ball like this, your only goal is to create misdirection, a secondary ball that comes square to allow some of your bigger players to come back underneath. Well weighted. Air under the second one, didn't catch it as clean as he would like, and that move right there, credit. Ethan Subachan actually gets pushed by one of the Clemson Tigers players at 2. the goalkeeper himself. Not a foul whatsoever. Great timing by Danny Kruger. And momentum restored for Wake.
This first half has had it all. 3-3, you would have never picked that. And you see the number, Wake under Bobby Muse. Their first loss when scoring 3 goals was last Friday against Virginia, when they spotted the Cavaliers 5 before responding reasonably well in the second half. I guess they made the right decision on the free kick.
It's that yard, I told you.
They've got another one here.
Wake Forest 3.
Vitor Jeramel, Daniel Bunk, and Gabriel Santuari all in for Clemson as Wake Forest continues forward. That's blocked by a hand. Free kick coming. This is Cooper Flack's territory. This is dangerous for Wake. And a yellow card coming as well.
Onto the pitch for the Tigers, number 6, Daniel Bunk. Number 21, Gabriel Santuari. And 24, Vitor Jeramel. They replace number 8, Wake Fisherman.
Sevion whistled for the handball and the yellow card here.
Difficult situation for the player. Your natural tendency as your momentum comes one way and you start to step out of that profile, your arm comes away from the body. It can't keep pace. Got to have the arm behind, and that's the argument from Mike Noonan here. I don't blame him. What do you expect him to do as a player? You can't run with your arms behind your back, but it's also the modern rules for the modern game. You have to change with it.
All right, Cooper Flack scored from a free kick Monday against Liberty. That might bring the house down at halftime here.
I go right between that wall. Look at the space in the middle. 4 players, a gap, and then 2. It's a really good spot. It's a tight window, but if he wanted to go low, definitely could with all the bodies in front.
Cooper Flax to hit it. Great velocity, great bend, a little too much height.
Not a poor strike by any means, just a little bit up on it at the end. Hit one against Liberty. Similar in nature, opposite end of the field, a little bit more English on the ball to get it to dip at the last minute. 2 biggest takeaways for me. Conversations with Bobby Muse and Mike Noonan where we got to be better defensively. Well, the good news is the attacks are still there. The bad news is pretty sure a day of reckoning is near in the halftime team talks. I still go back to the fact, Jonathan, that just be clean in your own decisions. This isn't a tactical situation where guys are getting run off the pitch. It's losing the one-on-one battles like that right there. You know, it's Ransford Chan down in the corner, step through it on a tackle instead of trying to be clean and tidy, pick up possession and play. You can get away with it against teams like Liberty. Even in the loss against Queens, Clemson played really well. They couldn't finish and gave up a sloppy goal. But these are mistakes that they're causing on their own, and that's a good thing because you control it. It's not what your opponent is doing to you. You have the ability to make the changes here defensively in the second half. It's just about tidying up decisions and key moments.
John came out, by the way, for Clemson after the goal, so defenders everywhere breathe a sigh of relief. Travis Smith broke that up. Rabiu only had Subachan as an option and couldn't find it. Wake does get a chance to move out here with 2.5 to go in the first half. No saves in the game. Every shot on goal, some with the benefit of a deflection, has gone in.
Combination play, set pieces, headers, counterattacks. If only these young men would have been willing to give the fans something to think about in the first half. As selfishly as announcers and fans, that we're sitting around here talking about back lines and defensive units. Everybody else is going, yeah, let's let it keep going, please.
Absolutely.
It's electrifying.
They're giving away TVs to students who stay for 60 minutes. I don't think they needed the TVs to motivate to keep them here after this. Devin was turned away. His trying to swipe a Wake Forest ID at the student section.
It's amazing that the 2002 Stetson ID doesn't get you anywhere these days. Really offensive.
Coming up at the half, we'll hear from Devin on changes in the college game and what they've done to it. We'll look around the ACC. Some games getting underway, and yeah, a feast of goals. We'll take a look and show them to you again, and I'll tell you what to expect in the second half. That's all coming up at the half here from Spry Stadium. He's Devin Kerr. I'm Jonathan Yardley. So glad you're with us tonight. Lots more men's college soccer on ESPNU over the next couple of weeks. Final minute of the first half here. Clemson and Wake Forest 3-3 in a game with major implications in the ACC standings as well. An 8-game conference slate. Everybody makes the conference tournament, but you want to have a higher seed, play the games on your terms and in your building.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, that was some 45 minutes in the books from Wake Forest and Clemson. 3-3. They've had plenty of games where they were tied at the half first. Don't let him turn. Don't let him run at you. Underway in the second half. Clemson and Wake Forest 3-3 so far. Can they ever match that in the second? They're going to do their best to try to turn this one in their favor. Jonathan Yardley and Devin Kerr with you in Winston-Salem. And we'll talk more about closing down Ransford John, maybe when he gets back in the game, because right now, Wake Forest's defensive task is a very different one, dealing with a different cast of characters as well. Vitor Jaramel is playing the number 9 role for Clemson to start the second half. Much different physical profile and type of player than Ransford John. For Wake Forest, Ryan Bilal in at forward for the first time today. Harvey Sarajian back in on this left wing. Kate Lorentz back in on the right wing. And the central midfield trio of Perez, Flax, and Umar stay in there. Backline and goalkeeper also intact for Wake. Jonah Mednard in goal. Amani Thomas, Danny Kruger, Travis Smith, and Christian Escribano at the back. So it's Travis Smith on the ball to Escribano. Kruger got caught between minds there and put his long diagonal right in between Sarajian and Escribano, where neither could get it.
Said we wanted to see cleaner decisions from both teams for sure defensively. I'd say the one thing that I'd really like to see more out of Wake with Umar in the midfield, popping him up onto that front line, getting more pressure on both center backs. When you release him out of the midfield, create one-on-ones on the center backs, it also isolates the wingers. They're excellent in those tight-knit areas on the width.
Deal with it, boys. Deal with it.
Okunlola, the right back, looking for a chance to cross. And Sirajin closed him down. It'll be a Clemson corner. Again, scored from a corner kick in the first half. We're dangerous on another set piece. So watching this off-the-ball movement is crucial.
Incredible direction, though, right there from the goalkeeper, Jonah Mednard. Just picked it up with the mics. He said, we get out there quicker. We don't have to worry about defending the corner. Good communication from the goalkeeper from Wake Forest.
Mednard got a hand to that, but wasn't decisive. Second ball came through a whole thicket of bodies and wound up in the breadbasket of Jonah Mednard, the first save of the game by either goalkeeper. Wasn't the power on the shot that Heinlein wanted, of course. But set piece defending, give him a passing grade closely on that one.
We addressed it in the open, talked about it in the first half. The leadership, the control aspect for Wake Forest, and really accountability. Who's going to help take control of this team in times of desperation? Not that this is a desperate moment, but it certainly is difficult. I understand it's one small sequence, but I loved what I heard from the goalkeeper from Wake Forest, taking responsibility for all the guys in front of him, keeping them organized against this potent Clemson Tigers attack.
Mednard in his first year as the Wake Forest starter. Foul whistled as Lawrence was trying to get through. It'll be a free kick for Clemson coming out. Cooper Heinlein can't save that one. It'll be a Wake Forest throw. A reminder, our SEC on ABC college football triple header starts tomorrow with Notre Dame and Arkansas at noon Eastern, LSU and Ole Miss to follow. And then Georgia against Alabama at 7:30, capping off the night. Coach Prime in Colorado hosting BYU 10:15 Eastern on ESPN. Each game also available in the all-new ESPN app. Xander Sevian giving the Wake Forest defense trouble. Bleached hair on the ball now.
You ever tackled that look?
Oh, God, no. Our entire soccer team tried it one year, and I drove home early and said, I'm not part of this. It ended up not being the entire team. So for Clemson, the back four the same in front of the goalkeeper, Joseph Andema. Okunlola on the right, Magnuson and Stevenson in the middle, and Arthur Duquesne, the left back. Kweku Ajibang and Mason Jimenez are the holding midfielders, Cooper Heinlein attacking. Xander Sevian wide on the right, Misei Yoshizawa wide on the left, and Vitor Jeremel up front for Clemson in the second half. And players in the men's game no longer allowed to re-enter in the half. So they will save a lot of guys, bring them in for the final portion of this second half. Important minutes here then from the guys getting a chance. Okunlola under a shoulder from Sirajin, plays it out for a goal kick.
Much better. Just talked about that proper positioning from Jonah Mednard, talking about the back four, and Harvey Sirajin working his way back in here. Smart for Zevian, draws the players in, good little back heel. This first touch a little bit light, gets caught up underneath Remy Okunlola, allowing Sirajin to drop back in. But the communication was, if we get there sooner, we're not defending corners. Much better defensively from Wake Forest.
I don't know if there's any way for the second half to live up to the wildness that we saw in the first half. But it feels a little bit like everyone's waiting for this one to come to life.
Well, the good news is there's 8 other games going on in Division I right now. Only 2 goals between the other 8. So you tuned into the right spot. Good ball.
Yoshizawa with the cutback. Tremendous leave. But the ball movement shot was blocked, deflected. Shavdarov looked at it, said no handball. They can still review it, but Wake countering. Pass too close to Magnuson and cleared away. Jimenez made the most strides since last year of any player, Mike Noonan said. 16 in the middle for Clemson. Gets the ball from Heinlein. For the run of Okunlola, neat pattern play here, and it's broken up by Umar for Wake Forest.
Pace now, move it. You're not fucking set, move it. Come on.
Tate Lorentz on the move, finds Umar in stride, Bilal with him. Basit Umar brings in Sarajian. Harvey Sarajian, first year at Wake Forest, drives it over the top off a deflection, out for a corner. Let's go back to that previous chance, though, at the other end of the field.
Really good utilization of the width of the Clemson Tigers. Started the second half, no chance. Oof. Want to rock the noggin, though. Did not hit the hands. Notice the arms down by the body for both Travis Smith Jr. and Danny Kruger.
They're going to be getting face shields ready in the Wake Forest locker room.
I'm just hoping they don't follow suit of what happened to Jeff White against Liberty, picking up that nose injury, walking through surgery. They do expect him back, though.
Okunlola's already said he needs to come out.
Do wonder if this goes back to that awkward fall in the first half when he broke through and had the coming to with Jonah Mednard, goalkeeper from Wake Forest.
Speaking of your path to pros, he played 4 games for Atlanta United 2 in MLS Next Pro before he ever got to college. We've seen guys, Copeland Berkeley for Wake was a 2-year starter for the Red Bulls MLS Next Pro team. You see guys come in with a very different profile when they reach college a lot of times.
And one of the things that, from a growth perspective, you experience throughout all these transitions across the college landscape, Jonathan, is the blue chip athletes. I mentioned them going. You lose some of the top tier players, but the basement comes up, so the aggregate is much better overall. This is the second one from Remy Okunlola. Just a bit ginger on the step back through. The actual contact itself occurred in the first half. Not a ton in that one, which is always concerning for a manager when a non-contact injury. Good news is he's walking away on his own. Bad news is it's a position that they don't have to explore. Arthur Duquesne and Remy Okunlola really locked down defenders for them within the lineup. He's always sharpied in. This is that contact I was talking about. Opening 45 minutes. Watch the foot just gets caught up underneath, buckles. I actually thought the way that he came down was more concerning as he reaches to the back there.
They are going to wait for the sub before letting the corner kick come in. And so Kyle Mattis is on. As Cooper Flax prepares to deliver the Wake corner. Another corner, no foul whistle, as a lot of bodies came flying through there.
Injury substitution for Clemson. Number 22, Kyle Mattis. Replaces Remy Okunlola.
Another corner kick near post. Not a lot of pressure on that one. And a chance for Clemson to counter here. Wake Forest said we didn't want to track meet. Well, it's 3-3 and their number's down. As always, who puts out the fire for Wake Forest? Nesto Perez. guy covers a ton of ground as we update you on scores. Michigan State just beat Indiana, tied 1-1 with number 5 Michigan in the second half. And NC State and Pitt just underway. We'll see if NC State can keep its pristine defensive record. No goals allowed this year intact.
The revolution of the Wolverines back again. Shaka Daly always seems to find that glamorous team once every 3-4 years. Last one, that 2019 squad, made a deep run, 18 the year prior. 7 games unbeaten to start the season. Electrifying from the front line.
Turn from Thomas, but he couldn't keep the ball in right in front of the 4th official. As we show you some of the fantastic numbers, ridiculous numbers for NC State's second year as the program turns around under Mark Hubbard. Again, you can see them a week from Sunday against Virginia. That's Sunday, October 5th at 6 p.m. on ACC Network. So Ransford Gian is back on the field. Newsflash, follow number 10 in orange wherever he goes. This is Kyle Mattis, freshman, his 3rd collegiate game. Floating it back post. And Amani Thomas had to bring it down there. Turned it over, lost his footing. Runs all the way through and hits the outside of the post. Almost a 4th goal for Clemson there after Thomas lost his footing.
Everybody reacting on this ball as it works from the far side back in. Love the pressure by Yoshizawa. If you're Amani Thomas, got to be over the shoulder, put over the end line, and instead you allow Clemson Tigers to stay up high, keep the line of pressure. Really difficult, though. Richmond, who's just come into it, to be able to get any sort of touch on it on the back post.
John on it. First pass one, Perez took him down. It's going to be a yellow card, and it's going to be a dangerous free kick. That is the danger if you try and close Ransford John down and you don't get there in time, he's by you.
I mentioned be physical with him. That's usually going to involve shoulder to shoulder or coming up over the back. You don't have to overstep. And Ernesto Perez tried to cut down the angle, recognized quite rapidly, didn't have the support. Back line was stretched and really put into a situation where he had to foul there.
Devin, look at this. Jonah Mendard saying, I need 3, and they don't have 3.
Still plenty of time here. The issue you run into as a left footer, although the distance is good, the window so difficult to get it around that near post, especially with 3. So you try and run misdirection with spin to get the goalkeeper to commit, bring it back across the body and try and go far post. It also gives him more time to be able to adjust in the moment. Easier said than done from 20 yards out.
The right footer is Jimenez, but everybody expecting this to be the left foot of John. Important header at the back, and Wake Forest defensive work to do again now. Nathan Richmond, one of those who came back into the game with John. With goal-scoring threats. John picked off the pass. Unable to get a shot away so far. This is Duquesne, the left back. Jimenez fouled by Umar. Free kick in a more dangerous spot and a player down for Wake Forest.
Hoping that that's just cramping for Cooper Flax, who's down in the moment. A lot of miles have ticked off on the odometer. One of the benefits you get out of Mason Jimenez in the midfield, combination center back and 8-6 pivot, understanding of his surroundings, great utilization of his body there as it works to the near side, just feeling the presence around him, drifting across and allowing the contact to come back through. There's the moment a second ago with Cooper Flax that was the bottom right side of your screen. Wasn't a ton in it again. As you start to get deeper into these games, Jonathan, the intensity ramps itself up. In moments, you overstretch, you push, you make your body feel a lot more uncomfortable than it was used to. Within that, the war of attrition starts to come in. And the hope for Bobby Muse, Stevie Armas, and the entire technical area is that he's just dealing with a little bit of cramping in the moment. Get him right back at it.
They spend hours on this. It's Jimenez wide of the target, with Mednard appearing to have it covered.
Try and catch him sleeping. Again, Ransford on the left foot would come back across the body, work towards the goalkeeper's left. You're trying to hold him there and take advantage of the space on the near post. Hit it pretty well.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I know you almost never say take the ball off of John's foot, but it gives him something to think about for the next one as well.
The misdirection, right? No different than when you're in the run of play. We've discussed this a couple of times where Jean's up high, he's down in the pocket. You're trying to find tendencies. Dead ball situations, you know exactly what they are. But when you bring another player into the mix, much more difficult to figure out the method of attack.
Couple collisions. And now a couple guys down, and you're worried about one of them because it's Ransford John, and he's pounding the turf with his hand.
The first one, just outside the top of the 18, was incidental. Nothing malicious about the contact at all. Tate Lawrence had come back to the inside and was just starting to drift back towards the run of play. The ball's already past him. The second one is a very different conversation. That's a rough tackle. And to be fair to Nesto Perez, he has every right to make a move on the ball. He leaves his feet well before Ransford Jan starts to commit up into the space. It's from behind him is the problem. So as a player, whether defender or not, you peek, you go to ground, it's not in your vision. It's going to be the height of the tackle overall and exactly where the contact takes place as to whether or not they want to pursue this here. But certainly Ransford Jan is in a boatload of pain.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be considered a straight red, which is what it would need to be to do so via replay, but any injury to John changes the whole season.
Here's the thing about it in the moment too, and this is going to be part of the argument for Bobby Muse to the referee. Let's say you're Ransford John. You're welcome.
Wow.
And I'm Nesto Perez. I go to ground, I'm making a move on a tackle. Your rate of acceleration is
really
much
good.
quicker compared to my body hitting the deck coming along the ground. So he creates the advantage there. In the moment, Nesto Perez already out in front. So as you get it from the referee's angle, from our angle, slowed down, we have the benefit of understanding where the contact is coming from. From the referee in the moment, it doesn't look as bad from his vantage point. As you go back and look, you can see it's a little bit slower from Nesto Perez as he slows down. And credit to Ransford Jan, who recognizes the threat that is. He's trying to step into the pocket, win it, and then come back out. Referee's head is the other direction, looking at the other contact.
He's calling
there.
a different foul. He doesn't even see it in real time.
So now you're relying on your AR on the far side of the field, and now video review to see exactly which way you want to pursue. Don't think this is, for me, a red cardable offense. The reason hear me out, the reason I say that is Nesto Perez isn't going in there to hurt a player.
No.
He's not coming up.
But you're responsible for your body. If
that's two players,
your studs
though.
are exposed.
You can't, that's not true. You can't control another player stepping in front of you. You can't, if someone explodes into that space and your leg's already there, he's not up high. It's a little bit elevated, not to the point where you're going to hurt someone, because he's already going to ground for the ball. That's a yellow for me.
Right, which would have been his second if you give a yellow and then he's out, but you cannot give a second yellow on review.
On a review. In the moment, it should be a yellow, but you can't go to the monitor and say, oh, I got it wrong, now I'm issuing a yellow card.
Right. So the good news is Ransford John is up and moving, maybe a slight twinge of a limp. And as a neutral, the good news is we stay 11v11, because that's given us 6 goals and some fun play so far. But because no card was issued on the play, John has to come off briefly and be waved back on once the ball is returned to play.
The trainer isn't on the field. No one ever called me on the field.
Mike Noonan wants to have him on the field now, and we're discussing it. I guess he's going to let him stay. A foul was called, but it was not the one on his. And anyway, we restart. 60th minute, 6 goals in the game, all in the first half. Clemson's most dangerous player, Ransford Gian, maybe the best attacker in the country. For Devin, he is still in the game after getting through that tackle. And Wake is determined to close him down more quickly when he gets it, according to Bobby Muse at halftime. So watch 10 in orange up top, pressuring the ball right now.
Ball don't lie, stats don't lie, and the only thing fictitious in nature that would come out of that is the fact that you think you're going to keep him at bay in the second half.
I mean, he's got to try. He's Devin Kerr. I'm Jonathan Yardley. So glad you're with us on this Friday night. 60th minute in one of the best games, one of the best year-over-year matchups that you'll find, for me, in college soccer. And tonight proving no exception. Jimenez thinks about it and sends it up toward our camera crew. It'll be a goal kick for Jonah Mednard as we take a look at some scores around the country. NC State, who else but Donovan Phillip puts the Wolfpack in front of Pitt early. Michigan State, again, trying for another top 10 win. Now leads Michigan 2-1. John whistled for a foul here. I beg your pardon. It was off the ball. It was Heinlein. It'll be a free kick for Wake.
Little chip on the shoulder there for Sasha Surofsky and Maryland Terrapins, unranked until the recent poll. They too are unbeaten on the season. Here earlier on, Wake's probably a little bit lucky, at least given the way the first half went, that game was never able to be finished due to inclement weather.
You had to bring it.
Who knows?
There was lightning in the forecast, but we have so far kept it at bay.
With regard to that second half, I talk about ball control and possessionally how Wake Forest challenged you. The ability of Bobby Muse and his coaching staff to make changes within a match, bringing guys off the bench to affect the outcome. Also one of the best in the country.
How about Ajibang with a full stretch slide tackle, then gets up, bursts 20 yards with the ball. He did lose out to Amani Thomas in the end, though, and commit the foul. Nathan Richmond has a goal tonight, 25 in orange. He was fouled after letting it go by Sarajian, and it'll be a free kick for Clemson here. Dimitar Chavdarov, the referee, has had a lot to do.
Inverting run at Richmond all night long. It's been on. Slows the tempo down, smart, sees there's no support on the far side of the field, hold possession, reevaluate. Getting him healthy, so important for Mike Noonan and the Clemson Tigers. Struggled with some back injuries early on in his career. Part of that national title winning team, 10 goal contributions in 18 matches back in 2023. Love to see him back to full health.
All kinds of picks and players moving off the ball. It's Richmond getting up for a header, not known as his forte, and couldn't put it in a dangerous spot. See the idea, right? He was supposed to slip through the wall unnoticed.
Defensively, another mistake though. This time, give credit to Nesto Perez that he rotates out to close it down, but that shouldn't be a conversation to begin with. I am hearing, as we did at the beginning of the second half, now approaching the 20-minute mark here, and a lot more verbals coming from Jonah Mednard off the back line, their goalkeeper. He's playing higher with the ball at his feet, yes, but he's controlling the group in front of him. Happy to hear that.
Yeah, and that bodes well long term, right? Not just in this second half, but as Wake Forest tries to build. Last year, their regular season meeting was at Clemson. Clemson won 1-0. And then after that, both teams just took off. Absolutely fantastic 15, 16 game stretches together. to go to the ACC final where they squared off. They met in the NCAA round of 16 as well. Clemson wanted the foul that they didn't get. Now Umar got through one, but that really loose touch slowed him down. And there in the miss hit, you could see his frustration with himself for not getting that one through. Here's John, he is offside as the flag comes up. Free kick, Wake Forest. Now, reminder, our ESPN Sunday women's volleyball doubleheader comes your way at 1 and 3 Eastern. Arizona, Kansas at 1. And in the ACC, SMU and Pitt at 3. This game's available on ESPN and, of course, in the all-new ESPN app. Sunday at 1 and 3. And we'll have volleyball following us as well out in the Big 12. Arizona State 17-1 in the conference last year, taking on Kansas in the Big 12 opener.
Oh, how's that from behind the scenes?
Flax and Cooper Heinlein. It's the battle of the Coopers. Chapter wants to make them shake hands and make nice.
Smart. Sarajan had come back in. Flax recognized the space, starts to pivot himself back out, but can't get free. And jersey exchange isn't until the end of the match. Young man, like what we've seen out of Cooper Heinlein, though. For a freshman that had 25, 26 minutes coming in 4 appearances on the season, his first start over the hour mark.
Not tentative at all.
It's done very well for himself. Good defensive tracking. He's been smart with his decisions, hasn't taken a lot of chances, just allowing the game to play out in front of him. All you can ask if you're a manager.
Clemson thought there was a little Christian Laettner stomp from Cooper Flax as he went over there.
Tobacco Road's on the other side of the state.
Never far away. '66th minute, 3-3 the score. All the goals coming in the first half. Clemson outshooting Wake 6-1 in this second half. Big switch finds Sarajan. Wake Forest said we can't let this game be a track meet. That's not to our advantage. Whereas Clemson wanted to minimize Wake's possession advantage, right? They're typically ball dominant, as you say. All of that has tilted toward Clemson in the game. It has been a bit of a track meet, and yet we're tied 3-3. Sarajan trying to burst through 2, got a shot away, but it was a low percentage effort. Goal kick coming.
If you're going to get a moment of brilliance, a la Ransford John, it is going to come from Sarajan or Tate Lorenz. Slowly finding rhythm, the transfers. Sarajan, the Sun Belt freshman of the year, came over from Georgia Southern. Already has the sniff of some pro scouts. Tate Lorenz on the far side, ACC foe, North Carolina.
Big battle for the second ball, won by Kweku Ajibang. Clemson screaming for a foul against Umar in the center circle. Arthur Duquesne ran 20 yards to yell at the referee. And Clemson wants a video review of this one as a player is still down. You do get a lot of this now in college soccer with video review. Everyone's asking for the replay.
If anything, get a water break. Go look at the monitor. Let me get my salt tablets, get myself back at it. This one was behind the scenes. I was looking on the other side of the field as they...
It's Floki Stevenson who is down.
Started to push up high.
He and Lucas Magnuson, best friends back in Iceland, came to the U.S. at the same time. Magnuson to Clemson, Stevenson to Virginia Tech. And then after a year, Stevenson made the switch, or after a season, I should say. And so it's Stevenson down, and we'll see just what the replay shows.
The Icelandic pathway become more prevalent in men's college soccer. For Thorson in there, and for Bjornsson a couple years ago at Duke, and just Just gets rolled up on. He's already to ground. Not trying to create a tackle here.
It looks like some theatrical rolling happened to run into somebody, but it doesn't look like.
And he doesn't kick out either.
No.
So contact, maybe, but incidental. It is possible. People forget at home that sometimes things just happen. It is a part of the game. Certainly that was my excuse with referees years ago. The get out of jail free card.
Did it work?
It became a little bit more frequent later on in the career, but felt like it did its justice.
Both teams seem happy for the water break and the chance to discuss. Incidental contact. The game continues with the throw-in that had been awarded, and Stevenson is incredulous. As the coaches said, a wild one like this is so fun for us as neutrals, but it's so stressful for the coaches, right? You're getting more gray hairs with every defensive mistake. What is this telling you about these teams' chances in the ACC this year, the most competitive conference in the country?
Still early. I would say that what you have to look at is the 20 minutes in the second half here. As many mistakes as we saw and goals that came along in the first half, that's changed. Dominance by one team or not, chances not as aplenty. So defensively, you're not defending back to goal and chasing downhill. Instead, you're setting a structure, keeping the game in front of you, and allowing defensive mismatch to favor you instead of the opponent going after you. That's the most important thing you're looking at right now.
Here's John splitting two onto that left, drives it low, just wide. Ransford John, almost another special moment.
Wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to say that this is one of the best chances we've seen in the second half. His center of gravity, the way that he plants the left side in, pivots over the right shoulder, the explosion, the weight of the touch out in front of him. Jonathan, there's players that'll take 2, 3, sometimes 4 touches to get themselves set up for a shot like that. He turns, it's one, and he's gone. When we go back to chances within the ACC, coming off of the changes here in the second half, it's wide open. I love either one of these teams' chances. I like NC State too. I like the changes we've seen from Notre Dame. I like the consistency and overall organization of Stanford. 6-7 teams deep this year for who could take down the title.
That one fell to Nathan Richmond. A little clumsy from Umar, and another dangerous free kick for Clemson. Mike Noonan, a word with the fourth official, Brandon Marion.
Now this is, as a left footer, outside of maybe being 5 yards to your left if you really want Christmas to come early, right where you want to be. Reason being your ability to come back across the body. You can get more momentum on the ball. He can move it more, Ransford John, from this angle, and the goalkeeper has to account for more. Bird's eye view. Look at all the space on the near post. He's still got to hit this with a decent amount of pace to get it around it. Does the wall jump if they don't put anybody on it and he can go to ground? I'd like to see this wall move to our left a little bit or put another person in. Really well done there. Too much space.
Perez, of course, is the one trying to do it. I thought 4 was too few. They've got 5 in the wall now.
Really good communication there on the back line to get somebody in and eliminate at least a bit of space against Ransford John.
It's a letdown in the end after all that for John. So again, we feel like everything he does is immaculate. To see him miss the target by that much feels surprising. He is human. Escribano's pass deflected out for a throw-in. Wake Forest in the attacking half. Amani Thomas getting forward, and the delivery let him down. It'll be a goal kick for Clemson. Now, if you're looking for Arizona State and Kansas in volleyball, it's going to start on ESPN News. You see we have 18 minutes and 40 seconds still to play here. So check that out on ESPN News or in the ESPN app, or keep it here and see if we can break this tie. Some rain falling now in Winston-Salem before we send you out to Kansas. He's Devin Kerr. I'm Jonathan Yardley, enjoying this one with you. Yes, Wake Forest is the ranked team, but Clemson has been on the front foot much of the night. 3-3 the score, all of the goals coming in the first half. This is Ransford Gian, one of the best attacking players in the country, finding Nathan Richmond, who's already got one today. Richmond drives it low and puts Clemson in front again. Of course, it's those two, and Clemson hoping to put this one to bed, but got a long way to go.
Said you couldn't allow Ransford Gian to face the game. You had to put more of a presence on him. But on the back side of it, you still have to be cognizant of the movements of Yoshizawa and Nate Richmond. On the turnover, shoulder to shoulder, no foul there. Notice the head up from Ransford Gian. He's allowing the midfield to drift back over so that space can get into a one-on-one situation for Nate Richmond. Bates, the defender in this situation. Previous 3 occurrences, including the goal that Nate Richmond scored, was on a cutback to the inside. Instead, pulls the defender in. Good explosion to his right side into the bottom corner, and the lead.
Big season for Nate Richmond. Big season for Ransford Gian. And Clemson trying to start, again, an 8-game ACC schedule, 3-0-1. I mean, to put 10 points on the board before September ends would be pretty amazing. All kinds of changes for Wake after that last goal. Nesto Perez out. Again, you come out now, you're not coming back in the rest of the game. Christian Escribano out.
Please welcome 3 Wake Forest substitutions.
Copeland Berkeley in it right back for Wake. David Ngema in as a defensive midfielder.
Number 11,
And Vlad Relent returns as well in an attacking role.
and number 27, Copeland Berkeley.
Is that a message from Bobby Muse, or is that just we look leggy?
Combination of both, to be fair. Number 1,
Number 12,
Copeland Berkey, probably the out-and-out starter by the end of the season if his progression continues. Smart decisions, overall good speed, and love his service into the box. They've been liable, right? More than they would like to be on that left-hand side. Both Escribano and Travis Smith have gotten themselves into trouble, so you change it up a little bit, and you've got more reach now. Where they were holding a little bit more on one side, now you're going to release Thomas and Berkeley to get involved in the attack. Everything else in front is pretty on par for what Wake Forest like to do. Changing players regularly, giving you different looks. Tactically, there hasn't really been much change overall. The big question now is going to be Sarajan into the 9. And if they can work off of him. He likes to play outside in. Back to goal is a different combo.
Yeah, I said he came off. It was Bilal who came off. Thank you for that.
I think the good thing that you get out of it, though, is his ball possession capability, hold-up play. You play into him, allow the width to expand, and then he spins off and draws the defenders, takes advantage of the space in behind. In a perfect world.
With a Clemson player down and Clemson in possession, the referee will stop it. That's Cooper Heinlein. Again, this is farther than he's gone in a competitive game situation all season. Raised in Brazil until he was 11. And he's getting stretched out right now. First goal against NC State this season. Registered by Pitt tonight. Had to happen sooner or later. We'll see how the current #1 team, NC State, handles it. It's been a rough stretch here for #1s, Devin. Speaking to just how wide open this NCAA tournament could be.
Majanya, 12 minutes in. The response, though, after Donovan Phillips scored. So there's another one for Mark Hubbard and his striker, USL League 2 Player of the Year, who just continues to light up Division 1.
There you see Heinlein again moved back to Colorado when he was 11. And more minutes tonight than we told you. He had 25 coming into the entire season. So he's good to continue for the moment. 74th minute. Clemson has been, again, creating more chances most of the night, but just got the breakthrough in the 72nd minute on Nathan Richmond's second goal. Wake Forest trying to clean up its passing. Another off-ball collision involving Umar. All kinds of space for Vlad Valent near the edge of the penalty area. Picked out Umar, wants it on his left. That took a deflection. Copeland Berkeley runs it down, the freshman from Livingston, New Jersey. And the New York Red Bulls Academy into the box. Deflected out for a corner kick.
Great decision, Copeland Berkeley. And he just makes sound decisions in these pressure-packed moments. It's a little 5-yard ball over the shoulder, but hold-up play to allow the overlap to continue. Get a set piece out of it. Well done.
Now the referee's saying they need to sub a player for Clemson. Clemson's winning, and they didn't stop the clock. Now they have stopped it. It's Heinlein, who was just down a minute ago.
Keep an eye here, by the way, as the rain comes down a little bit harder. It started right around the Nate Richmond goal, the go-ahead just 5 minutes prior. Goalkeeper's nightmare when the precipitation first comes up, harder to maintain control, strikes from distance. And some of the grip on the field, players moving through traffic. It's an attacker's dream. Defender's nightmare.
Yeah, you can see the way the ball moved when Umar's shot was deflected. It's going to be different than what we've seen all night as it starts to come down.
Shout out to the production crew for the emergency poncho that was kindly placed on the desk in front of me. Yours is in the mail.
I was going to say, you got one? That's nice. That's rich. Heinlein is expected to come out here, and it's Gabriel Santuari, the Italian freshman at the age of, well, I guess he's the age of 24 in his first year at Clemson. He's got a YouTube channel too. I don't know if you've watched some of the behind the scenes stuff. Mike Noonan had. He was aware of it, let's put it that way.
That's YouTube.
Don't even. 76th minute, Wake Forest corner. Man goes down. Bodies flying. And a chance for Clemson to run. Mednard is backtracking as Yoshizawa finds John. And with a 1-goal lead and numbers, they'll switch the field again. Richmond has 2 goals tonight. Gemma turned away from one. And Mednard was calling that. Travis Smith got there anyway, but gives it right back to Clemson. Sarachian with a pretty obvious push. There's no way Stevenson was not going to ground after that one.
That was aggressive. the outside backs tonight, Clemson. Arthur Duquesne and Kyle Mattis. They have started to push a little bit further on the right, but defensively, very sound here in the second half. Talk about decision-making, positioning, though, to be able to do so. 22 in orange that just came to the bottom left side of your screen, especially with the speed that Vlad Walent has at his disposal. Keep him over your shoulder and your peripherals, much easier to defend. You get overly aggressive, open up too much space, get yourself into trouble.
Bobby Muse has talked a lot about being compact with Mednard up and the back line up. Much tighter distance between lines for Wake Forest, but that won't make it any easier to break down Clemson. Umar with two around him, quickly dispossessed. That was Jimenez, I believe, dropping down. No, that's Santuari just in there. It was Jimenez.
The absence activity from Cooper Heinlein. You do get more of a tactician in Santuari, really good with the ball at his feet. A physical presence. He won't cover as much ground. He's just not as fleet of foot. But he's smart. You'll recognize not pushing up high as much, and instead he'll track right on that 6-8 pivot within the midfield, eliminate the central threat for Wake.
Long ball for Siraj, and you know he's not going to let this be easy for Andima. But Clemson with enough numbers to get it away. There's some footwork from Santuari. Recovery by Ngema for Wake Forest. Jimenez for Clemson. Richmond, three players around him, has it poked away, but Wake Forest can't control it. Umar, frustrated, thought he was putting it into safe space for his team. Instead, on the defense again. Ransford John turns away from one. Here he goes. Out wide to Duquesne. One back by Lawrence for Wake Forest. 11.5 minutes to go. Big switches on for Walent, running in behind. Andima read it and is out to the edge of the area to collect.
Special thanks, by the way, to that man right there, Nate Richmond. We were in a drought, hadn't had a goal in 26 minutes until he hit the back of the net. It was the longest stretch outside of the opening 12 minutes to start the game, where neither team felt like they wanted to go after more scoring.
Great first touch from Lawrence. His pass didn't match it, though. Santuari can't hold it. Wake has it again. 7 goals from Monday night forgotten. They need 1 right now. And Andima going to keep this ball at his feet because nobody has closed him down. Sirajan remembers, I've got to do that. I'm the 9.
Last 3 trips for Wake. Something I like. The movement by Sirajan in the 9. Umar stepping up higher. And then Lawrence recognizing the space to create that triumvirate. What they need now is Cooper Flax or Ngema to push a little bit higher. There's a gap there about 15 yards where you lose the ability to create depth and play through the midfield, give you options on the other side of the field. But good movement by the front 3.
Flax is trying to do that right now, and Ngema the only deep player in the midfield.
The problem you have to watch is you watch the left side of your screen, you can't be on the same plane. 4 players lined up shoulder to shoulder. That's the depth that I talk about, but good look by Ngema.
Foul off the ball as Ngema tried to play a 1-2 and was taken down, so a free kick to Wake.
Of course the ball's moving, he's in my way.
2 substitutions for your team.
Clock continues to run as the trailing team subs, and Umar will come out now for Subashan, and Mason Sullivan comes in. So is this 3 at the back time?
24, Mason Sullivan. He replaced number 3, Travis Smith Jr. And 22,
Or maybe 2 at the back. Long switch here. Played into the box. Umar did not come off. He's still there. I didn't think that one tracked. It'll be a Wake corner. Here we go. Mason Sullivan, just into the game, is up from the back.
Number 18, Cooper Flax. Take the corner.
Stop the clock for some pushing and shoving in the penalty area. All par for the course. Cooper Flax to deliver. Full volley came flying through and was blocked. Here, a big groan from the umbrella-covered faithful here. Everybody from Wake Forest trying to get onside, towing that Clemson back line. Sullivan on the ball now, has been starting most of the year, replaced by Kruger as he's gotten more fitness lately. Kruger finally long for Subashan. Willent trying to run off of him. 7.5 minutes to go as Wake chases this one. Clemson trying to hold on for, again, a win that would put them top of the ACC in some style. Flax really well shadowed that time. Monty Thomas trying to stay on side, kept it in.
Just keep an eye because of how the field's lining up right now. That young man right there, right side of your screen, 24 black, Mason Sullivan, really good left foot that can ping these 30, 40-yard balls. You don't want him to do it deep defensively, but they're up high right now, and you can use it to your advantage.
Great movement by Lawrence, got it to Willent. Trying to sneak that one through a couple of bodies, but it'll stay with Wake Forest. Cleared toward midfield where Kruger will collect. Gian, of course, lurking if this turns over in a dangerous spot. Clemson is off to the races, and Mednard is 35 yards from goal.
Long legs in the midfield. Got to keep moving here for Wake Forest, especially Umar and Flax. They've gotten a little bit higher. Feet starting to slow down a little bit, stay active, keep stepping into the pockets of space. That's where they're at their best.
That turns over. Here is John. Didn't have a whole lot of support and still keeping the ball moving. Monty Thomas began the game at right back. Now an attacking left back as Wake chases it. Flax in the middle. John lurking, trying to slot it through. Willent's touch let him down, and it runs over the end line. Goal kick and a chance to settle for Clemson, which is in front 4-3. Thanks in part to a couple of goals from Nathan Richmond.
Incredible on the night. A lot of it from the exterior of the field, understood where the underlap assignment was going to be, the way that he released himself. First touch and strike, always perfect. Even on the second one here, where he sets the defender up, just causes that slight hesitation, allowing himself to drip back across the body. Recognize that for Nate Richmond, 2 goals on 5 shots tonight. His total is now 7 goals on the season and an assist. He only had 6 goals in the previous 3 years. Unreal performance this year from Nate Richmond.
I'm a little worried that we're starting to produce the exact same notes at the exact same time. This is trouble.
That's what happens when you send your stuff to the cloud.
Yoshizawa trying to really put this one out of reach. Or maybe take it to the corner and let the time expire. Hear the Wake cries, get to the ball. Yoshizawa, John turns, left-footed effort is too high up into the net. And it'll give Wake Forest a chance to go the other way. And he's down again. And the fans here weigh in.
Stepping on to the pitch for Clemson, number 19, James Kelly. He replaces 21, Gabriel Santuari. Please welcome for the Olympics, number 20, Alfred Jabbar. He replaces number 10, Harvey Sriracha.
Alfred Deba in for Wake Forest. James Kelly in for the first time today for Clemson for some fresh legs. And last subs for each team, barring any goalkeeper injuries or head injury. And that throw-in goes Clemson's way as we go to 3.5 minutes left in this one. Clemson 4, Wake Forest 3, 87th minute here. Arizona State, Kansas volleyball reminder is coming up next. They started over on ESPN News. And we're glad you're here for the finish of this one. 3-3 at halftime. First half was nuts. Second half has probably been better from a coach's perspective and has a 72nd game winner potentially from Nathan Richmond. That is the decisive play right now. Kruger long looking for Subashan. He elbowed off a man and was whistled for the foul as he ran alongside Magnuson. And we'll stop the clock again.
There's no real argument from the striker here from Wake Forest, Ethan Subashan, and the way that he runs through. Didn't feel like there was a ton of contact in the moment from our angle.
I'd say that's obvious.
Here's the thing about it. I don't mind the contact on the torso, I mind the arm. And from the referee's angle, he's gonna see the arm come away from the body a little bit. You can square up a tad and probably get away with the contact, but because the arm's away, referee views it as too physical, overstepping your boundaries.
Elsewhere in the top 25, games going on at the moment, or in this case, just ending. Michigan State, another one for Damon Rensing and company. NC State and Pitt tied 1-1. And first goal given up this year by NC State. And Louisville and Duke, no score in their second half. Maryland, Indiana, also in the lead in Big Ten action. Bodies continue to fly even after the whistle here, but it's all going to result in a Wake free kick.
Pomerol, transfer from Butler, another goal, 8 on the season in 8 games. Again, I don't have my abacus, but a goal per game average sounds pretty good.
Sounds good. He's still thinking about that penalty kick, though.
Stay high here. Now you got to push the pressure even further. Kelly brought in to just be hold-up play. In any situation you can, use it against him, force him down into those pockets, create turnovers. Well done.
Fantastic tackle by Kruger started this. Thomas too high for everybody. He puts his hands to his face. Under 2 minutes we go. Clock stopped. Yellow card. Now, who gets the yellow? The keeper or the defender who was standing over the ball here? Tied for the highest scoring game in series history with the 6-1 rout from a few years back. And the streak of neither team winning back-to-back games since 2019 looks to continue. And again, as so often happens, both coaches pointed out, whoever wins the regular season game does not always win a postseason meeting. So a long way to go for both of these as we go down toward 1 minute remaining. Wake Forest trying to find it.
1 minute remaining in the contest. 1 minute.
Umar looking for Vlad Wolent. Goalkeeper came out. It's loose in the 6 and cleared away. Still Wake Forest with it. Amani Thomas. That one skims through and nobody in black and gold can get a touch. Goal kick with 38 seconds and the clock running.
What a recovery by the defender. This ball was going in. Redirection, you're trying to bring it back across the 6, but Floki and his body positioning noticed it just midair to clear that off the line. Incredible ability to manipulate in the moment.
Everybody up, 10 seconds. Mason Sullivan sends it forward.
7, 6, 5.
Headed out for a corner that's going to see this one finish. Clemson 4, Wake Forest 3 in a thriller.
Here's your final score tonight. Clemson Tigers 4.